Welcome back to the modcast. We're working on the Miata, and so last time we came here we found out we have no fuel pump. Something's not turning on there properly, so today we are gonna try and figure that out. Renee was just under the dash and she thinks that the fuel pump relay wasn't even plugged in, so somebody previous to us might have been screwing with that, but we're gonna find out. Okay, so we have the plug here. On this plug we have a blue wire with a red trace, a white wire with a red trace. We have a light green wire right here, a black wire, and a purple wire. If I read the wiring diagram correctly, the blue and red wire is the power wire feed to the fuel pump. And I think the green wire and the black wire are the turn on switch for the relay itself. The red, or the white with red trace, is power for the pump. And I think the purple wire is, if I read it correctly in the wiring diagram, I think that's something to do with the fuel pump, or the fuel light. But, okay, so black wire is ground, green wire should be trigger for the relay. Blue with the red trace is power to the pump. Red and white should just be hot, I believe. Let's actually test that first. I have my multimeter going off screen here, and hopefully I can do this one-handed. No promises. Okay, so we have no volts there, so that's cool. We have no volts there, no volts there. Now I would like the key on. All right, 12 volts there, 12 volts there, no volts there, no volts there. Okay, can you shut the key off, Renee? So it looks like the main power feed is not hot. It looks like it's switched. Okay, so we have 12.36 volts across this section of the relay, which turns on with ground. And then we also have 12.30 on the main power, the heavy gauge here. We're gonna pull the relay out real quick and try and test across that, see if we get continuity with these two powered up here, but I'm pretty sure this is bad. So go ahead and kill that, Renee. So I just had an idea where I just want to see an audible and see if this works. Can you turn the key on, Renee? No click. So no guarantees, but what we're gonna do now is try, we're gonna grab my multimeter, do some testing on this. But so far this seems like this might be our culprit. All right, so we have the relay out of the car here. I have it set up on this little switch system I made. So basically M12 battery, so we're running 12 volts. And then you look on the top of them, it's a little positive sign and negative sign. I have them hooked to a switch here, so we have earth, load supply, or ground, whatever you're trying to turn on, and wherever that's getting power from. So we have ground over here, through here, which is also sharing the ground on the relay switch here. Then we have main power going into the switch, and we have the load. So basically when the light is on like so, we have power being supplied down here, which I'm gonna get you set up on the tripod so I can show you. We have our whole system set up right here, just to show. We have 11.5, come on. 11.54 on the battery. So we turn the switch on, turn the switch on. We should now be able to go. And my meter leans on the wrong side. Ground and power. So we are showing 11.52 volts on the switch side of the circuit. So that means right now, set a meter into continuity. It beeps when you touch the leads. We should have continuity between, it's either these two pins or these two pins. I forget. Which we do not. We don't have any continuity across any of these things. So, switch still being on and all that. Relay's junk. Let's go get a new one. So I was thinking about it, and what we're gonna do is make a little jumper wire, and we're just gonna see if the car will actually run, because I wanna know if the car runs at this point in time. And that will also further confirm if the relay is bad, because if we jump the power wire for, well, if we jump where the relay would have been, the power wire, so it just runs, then we know for sure the relay was bad. Process of elimination. So we're gonna get a little chunk of wire, we're gonna stuff it in the terminals and hit the key, and we're gonna see if the fuel pump kicks on. If that's the case, then we're going to get the starter button hooked up and start the Miata. All right, so jumper wire has been made. Now we are going to go up under the dash, find our little yellow plug, and then we got to jump the white red to the blue red, and then we're gonna see if we get some fuel pump noise. Let's go from there. This is what we have to deal with under here. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but we're still getting it for you. Okay. So we have to jump these two, red, white to blue, white, red to blue, red. So we're just gonna go in here. Put one there, put one there. So now, in theory, when we go and turn the key on the car, fuel pump should turn on. All right, so if the jumper worked correctly, I'm gonna get you in close to here. Hopefully we hear noise. Go ahead, turn key on. I don't think I hear it. Are lights on the dash? Mm-hmm. I don't hear it. Interesting.
Maybe a bad pump.
Maybe a bad pump? I don't know. Still gonna try and crank it and see. Alright. So we have to get down onto the main power lug, which is not easy to get to with that camera there. Let's try that. Okay. So one end goes to the main power lug. If I can get this open. It's right there. Then you put the other lead on the control circuit for the solenoid, which is this little tab right here. And if you do that properly, your button should light up red. Well, if it's got a button. In this case, this one took that properly. See? Here's to hoping. So this is first attempt, starter button, and jumped fuse, or jumped relay. It's in neutral too, right, Renee? Sounds neutrally to me. Alright, still no fuel. Boo!
To make sure the pump's actually getting power, this is how you get to the access panel for the fuel pump in an NA Miata.
So we're going to pop this off, and then we're gonna pop the wiring harness off of the, or like the little plug, and we're gonna check the power inside of there while we key it on with the jumper and make sure we're actually getting power back here. And if we are, then it's probably a fuel pump, in which case we might go grab one of those today. We'll see. And if it doesn't have power back here, then it's figuring out, well, why doesn't it have power? So you'll hear back in a sec. The red, or the blue with the red trace here, should be the one that's coming from the upfront relay area. And then I'm assuming that this big heavy gauge black here is probably the ground for the pump. I'm not sure what the other two are for, to be honest. Probably have to look up a wiring harness for that, but regardless, we're gonna see if it's got power right here or not. So let me grab my multimeter. Okay, so this should be the circuit for the pump when Renee turns key on. We have 12 volts back here. So our jumper wire is working properly, which means our fuel pump is not. So next up is a brand new fuel pump. So in doing all of this, we're also gonna, Renee actually just went to go get a vacuum. We're gonna get this all cleaned out in here. I want to get some of these screw heads actually clean, so we don't strip them out when we go to get this out, because for all we know, this is the original pump, which means this hasn't been out in 32 years. So I'm gonna give it every chance we get to just get it out on the first try. All right. Ooh. Yeah, that tank has seen better days, huh?
Do you have a flashlight?
So we got the pump out, and well,
It's disgusting.
the whole assembly looks like this, including the pump being gross. So we're gonna clean this up the best we can, because, well, we don't have another assembly right now, but you know, it's just surface rust. As long as we clean it up, it should be fine. We're obviously gonna have to look into more fuel system stuff later, but we'll at least get this done now. All right, so admittedly, we're gonna have to rebuild more of this later, but we're already this far into it, so we're just gonna keep doing the pump. The This is also pretty sticky. Actually, I got a pretty little bit. But that's the actual, that's your float that tells the how much gas is in it. Alright, so I need my clip so I can keep. Right. So we're going to be modifying that wiring harness. Let's see, and this. That will be modified for the new pump, and that was very nice and corroded in there, so. Alright. Next, we have to get the pump off the bottom. Ah, that's right. Phillips heads.
Not surprised, the screws on this sending unit were pretty badly seized, so we went ahead and sawed out another one. That'll be in the next video. This has been the Rust Belt Bombers YouTube channel. Special thanks to Sonic Joyride for letting us use their music in parts of this video. Follow us on all the social medias, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe and like on YouTube. We took this Miata and turned it into this Miata, and we're going to do a whole lot more with it. Stay tuned.